Let's connect it up today. We're good charging. Good thing. We're good there. All right. Today is, man, what is it? April 18th, 2021, coming at you. Live stream. Going to talk about the Walking Dead universe, but, mainly Fear the Walking Dead because that's what's in season right now. So we're good with that. All right. So we'll just wait for this to load up to connect a little bit. Sometimes there's a little delay, but hopefully you're doing well. This year 2021 is still kind of a crazy year with things. Hopefully you're doing okay with just health, wealth, mindset, mental health, physical health, just being there around your family, your friends. Maybe you need to get away from them. I don't know. Maybe you've been trapped in the house for a long time since the COVID pandemic started, but hopefully we'll be here for the next hour for some enjoyment for you. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Like the video and all videos helps out. And so spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. That's The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, a little bit of World Beyond. I guess some comic stuff, movie stuff. When in doubt, spoiler warning for it. So we're going to talk about last week's episode first to Fear the Walking Dead, and then the last half hour. If you're new here, we talk about the last half hour, because I go for an hour, of the latest episode of It's The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, whatever it is. We talk about those things there. So try to keep, no spoilers in the chat until the last half hour, please. And we've had a little bit of people posting some spoilers on the comments for different reasons, but it's kind of like, what's going on there? It's kind of annoying when somebody posts a comment and it's a spoiler, because I've learned recently that people come to the channel, may watch the video, may not, but while the ad is playing or the intro is going, they read some of the comments. And in the comment section, I can't control what people write, but people write comments of whatever they want. Some good, some bad, some spoilers, some not, some on topic, some off topic. And there's been times where, I think it was my Rosita video, that we talked about Rosita in the video, and people were talking about Fear the Walking Dead and some major spoilers for episode 609. So that's really not the area or place to do it. Kind of keeping spoilers contained. And, with early access AMC Plus Premier members, the new episodes air on Thursdays. And I believe for premieres, maybe even finales, they air a week early. Sometimes they're on Sundays the week before they're airing on AMC. So that's kind of a problem now. Before, it used to be the spoilers come out with different spoiler groups, and the screeners come around so people get to watch them, and then they have a breakdown of it. Before, it was like this huge breakdown of the episode. And then they had a Q&A format, and then they still have a breakdown of the episode for people now. And, now I think AMC Plus is all about, we know what we're going to do. We're going to put out the episode early on Thursdays, because that's really when the spoilers used to come out, Thursday for Sunday. And now they're putting it on Thursday, so a lot of people watch it too. So I don't know about, if that's going to be, that's the way it is now. AMC Plus is not going to change anything. They like having the people here on their service. I'm going to assume they're making a lot of money from that. And, that's kind of what happens with stuff now, is stuff gets spoiled because people can watch it earlier. But that being said, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6B is in season now. So last week's episode was Season 6, Episode 8. And if it was going right, without the pandemic, that would have probably been the first half mid-season finale, which would have ended in a huge way, in a big way. Like, imagine watching that and you had to wait weeks and weeks and months before you get to watch the 6B. But now the way it's shaped up, 607 was the mid-season finale, and then the premiere was 608 with last week's episode. And again, don't worry, we'll talk about 609 in the last half hour of the live stream. But, ultimately, Fear the Walking Dead, it's still a debated show. I mean, I guess so is The Walking Dead, but people stick up for Fear the Walking Dead unconditionally. I guess you can have unconditional love for things, which is good, but ultimately people just see things that the show can do no wrong. If anybody says anything remotely negative towards that, certain characters or people or writers or whatever it is, people get upset about it, right? So I think that I'm a realist with the shows. I have my things I like about it, my pros, my cons, the universe, the Walking Dead universe. Some things are silly. Some things don't make sense. Some things are great. and it's enough pros that weigh out the cons. And Fear the Walking Dead is one of those things that I think has come a long way over the 6 seasons. They have copied a lot of things from The Walking Dead, but it's part of the universe, so why not, right? It's the Walking Dead universe can do its own thing, so I'm excited to see where it's going, and I've enjoyed season 6 so far. So thank you guys for joining me. I saw a bunch of people say hello to everybody, like Lindsay, Heart of Nixie, 3 Souls Paranormal, Negan 1, Lindsay again, Wilson, Constipated in Sin City, Ada B, My Trigger's Stuck, just Jen West, Symbatico, Peaches all over. Just thank you guys for being here. I'll be talking about The Walking Dead too. Let's talk about The Walking Dead a little bit. So season 11 filming is underway, right? So I'm excited to see what happens with season 11, the final season of The Walking Dead. Militant asks, hey, Bri, Q&A, do you think that Dakota will die in 6x10? I don't know now. Like, after watching stuff, I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do with that character. And I don't want to give anything away. I'll talk about that there, but that's a great question. I personally don't think so now. After some big stuff happened in this previous episode, I don't think so too. So Jonathan Wilder is Q&A. What are your thoughts on Samoa Joe, Mickey James, Callisto, and the Iconics? P.S. Sorry for not having a Walking Dead question. Just don't have one. That's okay. Those are WWE wrestlers. I don't really know the WWE superstars that much besides Samoa Joe. I guess they just weren't bringing in enough. They were all released. They were. So how'd you name 1, 2, 3? So like 5 people there out of the 8 people that were released. WWE is an entertainment business, so if you're not bringing in the entertainment, a lot of those people will go to the other wrestlings that are out. I'm blanking on the one that's on TNT now with Chris Jericho and those guys, but ultimately they'll find their spots too. And the only one I kind of know is Samoa Joe, and I believe I may be wrong, but I live in Tampa Bay, so I don't know why this is happening with the upload speed. So hopefully the upload speed's all right. I think I just had a little hiccup there with it, but I think we're still rolling here. But Samoa Joe's the only one I really think of there too, and I believe I could be wrong that he was wrestling with TJ, Natalya Neidhart's husband, and I believe he's the one that injured TJ by accident, most likely, that ended TJ's career. So I don't know those most people, but it's kind of sucky when you have an employer and then you're gone, and hopefully you'll be there for it too. So, hopefully they'll find different there too. But yeah, sorry if there was a snag in the upload speed, but I think we're good now. I think we're rocking and rolling. But is there any other questions for it too? Our process. What's up, Bri? And all great episode tonight. So the episode is good tonight. It's definitely a good one. I don't know if you guys saw my early access premiere, but we'll talk about that in the last half hour of the stream, the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead. But Constipated Sin City asks, why did Dakota kill John and how? So if you don't know John, or Constipated in Sin City, Dakota killed John because he found out that she is the one that killed Cameron, because she had the knife that killed Cameron. Cameron was one of the Rangers of Ginny's patrol in Lawton, and she shot him in the chest, a la Rick Grimes in the comic, and he got pushed into the water, went downstream, I guess drowned. I don't know. He became a walker pretty fast, if you kind of think about things. And, it was one of those things that John's gone. Did he want to leave? Was he written out of it? A little bit of both, a little bit of A, a little bit of B. Ultimately, he's gone. It sucks. But after watching 6x9, season 6, episode 9 of Fear the Walking Dead, I understand what they're doing now without John. And, characters have to die off in series. If everybody stayed alive, what would be the fear of watching it? Like, it would be kind of cool to see that if Glenn survived and Rick never left and Carl lived and Abraham was around and so many things were happening here and everything was, happy and joyous. But in the world of The Walking Dead, don't be a doctor, don't wear red clothing or be around red objects, and don't be around kids with guns, because it's going to turn out bad for you. And predominantly, I guess, teenage girls with guns on Fear the Walking Dead. Don't do certain things and you might be okay. So I don't know. Is there anything else? Don't have the orange backpack. There's like certain unwritten rules in the Walking Dead universe. Like, don't do them and you might be okay too. So, but I see a lot of talk of Army of the Dead, so that's a good segue on there as well. So Army of the Dead is a movie that is coming out on Netflix on May 21st, 2021. So roughly about a month away, as today is April 18th. 2021 as I make this live stream. So I'm excited about this movie. Some people say it looks like trash. Some people says it looks cheesy, corny, stupid. Some people love Zack Snyder. Some people hate him. I don't mind Zack Snyder. It looks like an interesting movie. It could be campy, cheesy, over-the-top action. Ultimately, zombie stuff is cheesy. It is crappy. It is campy. It is over-the-top. It is not realistic. Zombies aren't realistic. Having something die and then come back to life in a reanimated way, whether they're fast or slow, is not realistic too. So what's up, Darcy? But it's a fun thing. It's survival. It's what would you do in this situation? I love Dave Bautista. I like a lot of the people in it. If you like John Dory, Garrett Dillahunt is his name. He is an actor that is in this movie too, so that looks pretty great just for that reason alone. Hopefully you saw my breakdown of the trailer. I had some inside information that I shared in there, that it was filmed in Las Vegas, Czech Republic, New Mexico, and New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey myself, and I believe they filmed some of the inside casino scenes. And the rumor is that it was the Showboat Casino that's on the Atlantic City's part of the Jersey Shore. And a lot of those casinos went bankrupt or were sold or were not open to the public anymore. I think it was pre-COVID stuff that this was filmed, so they got to use the actual casino for it, and I believe it was filmed parts in Atlantic City. I'm excited to see that, as I've been to the Showboat and different casinos in Atlantic City, not for a long time ago, but it was pretty cool to see. And Garrett Dillahunt's in it, different actors are in it, some comedians, some different things, so I love to see that, just to see where it's going for it. So good to know where you're at, Dylan. Good spot. Hopefully everything works out for you there. But ultimately, the zombie apocalypse is different in different ways, right? If you watch World War Z, if you watch Z Nation, Black Summer, Walking Dead universe, all those different shows, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Shaun of the Dead, like there's all these different things, right? The zombie apocalypse genre is going strong. I do like the idea that zombies are different in different aspects, but we kind of had a feel, like if I think of a zombie apocalypse, right? Certain things that come to my mind, like a mall, an RV, animals, mainly a dog, like a German Shepherd, a variety of people and survivors, a hero, leader guy, people are the enemy, walkers. I don't know, like it's just what comes to my mind. How about you guys, right? So that's actually a good question. I think what I have here for the live stream. When you think of a zombie apocalypse, like what are some things that come to mind? What do you kind of have to see in a zombie apocalypse? Like Zombieland, that's another one. Because Adabee says, don't get bit, Dylan, right? Like Zombieland kind of thing. So is it comedy? Is it realistic? Is it something that, is over the top? I don't know. Like, I just think of different things like that. And maybe it's because of what I've seen in shows and movies on there that kind of makes you skewed. But at the end of the day, I would love to just be not in a zombie apocalypse, but kind of be in that world. Like, imagine if you could go somewhere, right? So imagine if you paid money and you went to a remote island with your friends, your loved one, your family, whoever it was, right? So say it's a group, maybe it's like a bachelor party, right? And you go to a zombie apocalypse weekend where you go to an island, you have your campground, you have like paintball guns or something, non-lethal weapons. And then you have like people that are dressed up as walkers or zombies, or probably zombies because you couldn't use the name walkers. I'm pretty sure it's, trademarked. But the big thing is that would be pretty cool to see and be there too around it. So there's like a threat. And if you get bit, you become one of the zombies to go against your friends. And the last survivor is that. And you couldn't get off the island because there's no boats, or like it would be kind of cool of a thing to do, kind of like a summer camp. I don't know. It's just kind of be a getaway that kind of brings that in, but it's kind of a non-lethal thing. You're not going to worry about hurting people in there too. So Ed says we have zombie corn mazes. I know they have zombie runs, like a zombie run, like what was like the Tough Mudder and stuff like that, but it's like zombies going out there too. It'd be kind of funny to see that, where the zombies got to pull your flag, like the flag football. So let me see what you got here. Peaches all over Q&A. If you had to choose 3 characters from Fear to go further in Rick movies, who would you choose? So that's a good question. That's another good question, Peaches. I want to ask that for everybody. So this person asked if it's a girl, I don't know, Peaches all over. If you had to choose 3 characters from Fear to go further in the Rick movies, who would you choose? You got to go with Morgan. I think Althea makes sense. So Morgan and Althea. And then I don't know who that third person will be. Initially, I want to say like Alicia, but I'm not sure what she would really bring. Maybe Strand. I like Althea, Morgan, and Strand. I think those 3 would make sense for multiple levels. Morgan connects to Rick. Althea connects with Isabel. And then that third one is kind of tough. Like I like Daniel. I do like Alicia, but I don't know how she fits. Luciana, no. Dwight, I don't know. Like, I mean, who else over there? I mean, June. I mean, who could be the third one? I mean, I go with Morgan and Althea, like easy, but I don't know. That third one has got me tripped up. Like, oh man, Heart of Nixie's got Madison? Question mark. That's a tough one. And you know, I've seen people like when I mention Madison in my videos and stuff, and there's no hint at Madison at all so far in these episodes of Fear. And Madison is like a touchy subject for a lot of people because people debate Madison still. Is she alive? Is she dead? Did she die? Did she do this? Is she at the stadium? Was she picked up by the Civic Republic? Was she there? Is she a walker? Is she not? Is she with Crazy Dog and Walker? Is she there too? You know? So I don't know. Like I have nothing against Kim Dickens. Like, I think she's a lovely person and she's a different actress for there too, but I didn't like her acting on Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think she was a great character. Maybe it was the actress or the writing or the story or a little bit of both for the World of the Walking Dead, for Madison to be a true lead for the character. Even though it's debated, is it Madison or Nick who was the actual lead of the show? I think they were kind of co-leads, which is kind of the problem. Who was the leader? What was the show about? You want to distance yourself away from The Walking Dead. It's kind of annoying. Like, we watch all these Walking Dead shows, right? We watch all these different shows and movies and read the books and everything. It's kind of annoying when you see the people and they struggle with killing walkers and stuff, especially in the same Walking Dead universe. It's like, we should be at that level already, even if it's a prequel and we understand it. It's kind of frustrating, and that's kind of what it was. But let's not talk about the early days of Fear the Walking Dead. Was it good? Was it better? Was it not? Was it terrible? Was it a misstep? Was it good in the right direction? Even though some people like that better there too. My guy Ed Norris says, thank you for the super chat. I watch your videos, but do you honestly feel all the shows will merge? Ed, I don't know. Like, I don't think they're all going to come together. You know, like Voltron, or like Power Rangers, where like reunite and they make like 3 circles and they make like a super robot and they just attack all the Civic Republic. I don't think so. I think we'll have different things crossing over, but with Fear the Walking Dead season 7 filming now, and The Walking Dead season 11 filming now, and The World Beyond season 2 filming now, we have all these different films or filming seasons and filming sessions. I just don't know how they could merge. I just don't know how it would make sense for them to merge. Maybe they can come together in the movies. I think so. I think that's a good way to do it, but not everybody, not all the shows come together. I really have no idea how you could have all 3 shows come together with the timelines, with the things that happen, with Rick being gone. I don't think so personally. I think certain characters could see together, like the Daryl and Carol spinoff. Maybe they go to Texas and they see them, but I don't think it's a full merge. I think certain things happen there too. So. The Big Bang Theory Sheldor, thank you for the super chat. Will Dakota be besties with them like Charlie is? I don't know. Like, that's a crazy thing, and I don't want to talk about that too much until the last half hour, Big Bang Theory Sheldor, but I don't think so. I don't know. Like Charlie killing Nick and then her being around, it just doesn't make sense for them to be such a fun person or main character, or such a character for like Alicia keeping Charlie alive is kind of annoying. It's more annoying than anything, right? So I don't know. Is Charlie really a bestie? I mean, she is friends with Alicia now, and she was hanging out with Alicia and doing stuff, but I don't know. Dakota's an outsider, right? Dakota, maybe Alicia is just the person that all those girls hang out with. So you'll see Alicia, Charlie, and Dakota just hanging out. I don't know. Like, to me, it's a little too much. Like, Dakota did what she had to do, but did she? Did she really have to kill John? No. She didn't have to do it at all. It wasn't like kill John so she stays alive. It was like kill John so this character gets killed off. So I don't know. I mean, the joke would be Alicia, Dakota, and Charlie hanging out by a campfire talking about how Charlie killed Nick and how Dakota killed John. It's like, what? PJ Lover says, Kim was good in Gone Girl. Yes, I agree. Kim Dickens. Like, I like Kim Dickens in Gone Girl. I like Kim Dickens in Sons of Anarchy. I liked her. I've never seen Deadwood, but I've heard she was good in that too. And again, I don't hate the actress. I just don't think Madison was the best choice for certain aspects of the Walking Dead universe and Fear the Walking Dead. And, you know, some people will disagree. Some people will agree. And that's okay too. Like I always bring up the point, and I've seen it firsthand, that there's people that hate Daryl Dixon. I've seen people on Facebook, and people ask the question all the time, like, who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character? Who's the worst character on The Walking Dead? And some people say Daryl, right? I don't get it. I think Daryl is very important for the show's success. That same person likes basically the polar opposite of that character. Is that person wrong for their decision? No, it's just their own opinion, and that's okay. So I just don't get it because Daryl's, you know, quintessential. But there's people that don't like certain actors are there too. I remember this friend of mine. She said, I don't like Will Smith because he's a big name actor. I don't like Michael Bay movies because they're big, whatever. And it's just because, like, the scope, the practice, the budget, the things, this is why that person didn't like them. Not because the actor sucked or she didn't buy into it, blah, blah, blah. It was because they were a big name person. Big name actor, budget person. It's just, that's what it was. And I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know. I just never understood that. So it was kind of crazy for things. But Big Bang Theory Shelter says, also, I am mostly hyped for all the spinoffs. So Big Bang Theory Shelter, I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chats, Ed and Big Bang Theory Shelter. But I'm excited for the spinoffs too, right? Like, some people like, these spinoffs suck. World Beyond sucked. I don't care about the movies anymore. I don't care about that. But I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to definitely continue on with a bunch of things because I love talking about the Walking Dead universe. And it's not like something that I'm totally out of it because we have to see. There's a lot of things still left on the table, right? The Commonwealth, what's going to happen on the show versus the comic of the Commonwealth, Strand, Alicia, Morgan, Dwight, Sherry, you know, Ginny's group, these people, that people, the end is the beginning people, the submarine, Civic Republic, the kids on the World Beyond, the Rick Grimes stuff, Jadis, Heath, you know, Daryl, Carol, spinoffs, hopefully a Negan show. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of stuff left on the table that still has my interest. And I think a lot of people are still interested in the shows too. But there is a drop off. There is kind of a bigger drop off with things now than in when it was. Some people said it was happening when Negan showed up, but a lot of people say it when Carl got killed off. You know, there's a lot of people that stopped watching after season 7, season 8, after a lot of things too. So the Big Bang Theory Shelter, thank you again for another super chat. You watching Invincible? I love seeing Steven. So I've seen, 20 minutes or so of the first episode on Amazon. For those who don't know, Invincible is a comic written by Robert Kirkman. It's superheroes. And he says, I love seeing Steven. So Steven Yeun is the voice of the main person on Invincible. And it's voice acting because it's all animated. So I think that's going to be what some of the Tales of the Walking Dead is going to be like. It's going to be animated too. So I've only seen a little bit of it. I have to watch more. Even though I've seen some clips of it, I've never read the comics. But I saw a thing. I love seeing Steven Yeun too. I've been recently watching some different things on YouTube with Conan O'Brien. I watched an interview with him and Steven Yeun. Conan O'Brien and Steven Yeun talked about some different things. about Minari. I've never seen Minari. That's the movie that Stephen Yeun is starring in. He's nominated for an Oscar. So hopefully he wins. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know when the Oscars are, next weekend, I think. But that'd be pretty cool if Stephen won. I also saw an interview with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Conan O'Brien. And hopefully you saw my video about Jeffrey Dean Morgan and his son. I'm pretty sure I saw them in the video on the live stream of them having lunch or taking a break with filming, that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son, Gus Morgan, or Gussie Morgan, he calls him kind of Gussie. And I think his name is Gus, and I think he calls him Gussie. But he's going to be a walker on the show. I wonder if Negan is going to kill him, right? That's got to be where it is, that Negan has to say something, right? So you're going to see this child walker. I'm pretty sure he has a prosthetic mask on, and he's got his face and stuff done where it's going to look really good. And hopefully he's going to get a little more screen time. And I would hope that Negan is the one that kills his son, the child walker, and he says something like, "Oh man, look at that freaky kid walker," or something, right? Because there's got to be a kind of moment where it points out like, "Oh, Negan killed his own son. Jeffrey Dean Morgan killed his own walker's son in The Walking Dead." I kind of hope that would be kind of funny too. So I don't know. That's season 11, episode 5, I believe, if they're filming in order. And I think the early word is that they're going to film. They already filmed the first 4 episodes, and the first episode is 2 parts. I don't know why it's not episode 1 and 2, but there's been a rumor that it's the premiere is in 2 parts. So is it to be continued or something? I mean, it's all to be continued, the episode. So I don't know how it's going to work with that. Never seen something like that before too. So let me see what you got here. Good questions there too. Thank you guys for joining me this live stream, and really every live stream. You guys are awesome. I truly appreciate it. Jonathan Waters says, Q&A, if you was writing the Rick movies, how would you do it? Well, that's tough because I don't know what they want to do. And to have 3 movies, well, my hot take would be Rick was injured. He's in a hospital bed, just like the pilot episode. It's going to be a lot of that where he gets out of bed, or he gets out of bed and it's a working hospital now. And they're like, "Sir, get back in," or he's handcuffed or something and he can't get out of bed or something. Like something's going to be different about it, right? Jadis has to be there visible. I don't know if we could see Heath. He's got to be able to meet with some of the higher ups after he's, able to get around. Maybe he has a cane, maybe he doesn't. He's got to end up getting a job at the Civic Republic, I would assume. I think he's going to meet with people, maybe prior Civic Republic military soldiers that are being rehabilitated. So that would connect a little bit with the movies and the World Beyond. I would love for it to connect with the kids of the World Beyond somehow, some way. If it was the doctors, I don't know if it's going to be that simple right away. I would love to see confirmed that he's in Philadelphia, and then maybe it's like the whole backstory of that. Maybe the first movie ends with him getting a message out to Daryl, to Alexandria, to Hilltop, but no one's there at Hilltop now or something. I don't know. Were they trying to reach them or something? Because the time has got to be carried. I don't know how it's going to match up that way, but I would love to be the second movie is where Michonne comes into play. Michonne goes there, they do that, they battle the Civic Republic, maybe the Commonwealth there. I don't know how the timeline is going to be there too, and there's got to be a big epic battle where Rick tries to work from the inside to take down the Civic Republic. Maybe he overhears that they're going to plan to take out these communities in Virginia or something, right? He's got to find out a little bit more about it. Maybe he finds out. Maybe he talks about the CDC. I think stuff needs to come up from the first in the first or second movie, from what Rick knows about the CDC, Dr. Jenner. Everyone's infected. Certain things come around. Maybe the reason, I don't know, because Rick's not a scientist, so it doesn't really fit that way at all. But I think that I don't want to see Rick have amnesia. I don't want to see Rick be in a coma. I want to see Rick kind of be connected with. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot for 3 movies, but Jadis needs to get away and go back and recruit people and get back into, I don't know, helicopter or, Jeeps or different vehicles, because they have them. And I want to kind of see Philadelphia a little bit, Pennsylvania, Northeast, maybe Jersey, maybe New York, maybe wherever it is. I think that'd be pretty cool to see how it all comes around a little bit. See a little more area for it. And I know a lot of people want to see outside the United States. I'm kind of one of those people too, but we'll see where it goes. I know a lot of people, I don't know if I think it came out this week where they talked about Skybound X, where they have Clementine on a cover and they have Rick Grimes on a cover with a lightsaber. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't look really too into it because I'm not the biggest Telltale Games fan, and Clementine is kind of more of a thing with that. And I understand she has a good following and people want to see her on the show. But Robert Kirkman said that Clementine's really not ever going to come on the show for that. But you never know what happens on what Kirkman trolls the audiences all the time too. So we're in the last half hour of the live stream, guys. So spoiler warning for season 6, episode 9, as we're going to talk about that too. So I love the idea for it as well. So Big Bang Theory Shelter says, also I have exams this week, but glad I caught your live stream finally. Thank you. Appreciate you being here, Big Bang Theory Shelter. Thank you for the super chats and for being a part of it. Good luck on your exams. I don't know what you're studying and what you're going to be, but hopefully you'll take the time, put it in. That's what happens when I've taken a lot of exams in my life. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college, grad school, GREs, SATs, all these different things, right? The board exams, license exams, jurance prudence exams. A lot of times if you just put your time and energy into it and you take the time and you study for the exams and everything for it, unless the teacher or the people who make the tests are terrible, you should pretty much do all right. So take the time, put the time in, and it'll pay back for you too. But let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead, some spoilers. So spoiler warning for 609 of Fear the Walking Dead. So I'm excited for you guys to watch this episode if you haven't seen it, but it basically picks up right after 608 into 609. It starts with June digging a grave for John Dory, who we know is dead. He was killed by Dakota and then killed as a walker by June. And June has to bury her husband, I guess, by the cabin where they're at. You see it's super slow-mo. June is digging a grave. You hear Ginny on the radio. Morgan. Her voice is just so annoying. It's so terrible. But the actress does a great job. Colby Minifie does a great job for it. And she's probably the best, if not definitely one of the best villains on the show, of the series so far, in my opinion. But so June's digging the grave. She pushes John into the grave. She looks at the grave. She sees that one of his guns are still on him. I don't know if that's a plot hole or a mistake. I don't know if he put his guns down. I can't remember. Did he just put the knife down? Did he have his gun holstered? Either way, the gun is there. She grabs it. She looks at it. She thinks about what to do. She glances towards Ginny. And the Ranger Hill, I believe his name is, points his gun at her and says, drop it, and then Ginny walks back over and says, what's going on here? And she says, I'm trying to get even with the person that killed my husband. Hill says, drop the gun or, you'll join them. So she drops the gun, throws it away. And, it's kind of one of those things. She looks at Ginny and asks, why did your sister kill my husband? And Virginia says, I don't know. But June replies, I think you do. So that's for sure. She knows exactly what is happening with her sister, what her sister is capable of. I guess she doesn't know exactly why it happened, but she can probably gather what exactly it is. Then the opening credits roll, and it's Ginny time. Ginny is on the opening credits, which is very fitting and interesting because, like last week, 608 had John on the intro. He died. Ginny is on the intro. And dun-da-da-da, she dies as well. Pretty cool stuff. It's one of those things where nothing happens over 2 seasons. We get a character, kind of a minor death. Stuff happens, but no one really of interest kind of dies. And then boom, back to back, death. Pretty big stuff too. So then we get to see a lineup. It's the Ginny Negan style lineup in Lawton. Well, I guess it's Strand who does it. So Strand gets Grace, Sarah, Luciana, and Daniel on their knees. And then June comes with her car, and June kind of joins them, but she's off to the side. So she's kind of in the lineup, but not in the lineup. Right? She's holding John's hat. Luciana asks, where's John? They put 2 and 2 together. She was killed. Even though June should have been like, Ginny's sister killed him. She doesn't say anything. I would be like, Dakota killed him, right? Nothing. She doesn't say anything. Strand is kind of running the show, and Ginny's trying to make people understand that she's in power, but she's still waiting to find Morgan. Where's Morgan? I don't know. Where's Morgan? Point my gun at you. Where's Morgan? I don't know. Like, it's getting nowhere with it, right? So she threatens Grace again. Well, and Grace is like, you're not going to kill me. That's very stupid. That's very stupid of you. And then she tells other people to do it because she's not doing anything. Oh, before that, Daniel tries to like say something and he gets smacked in the head by the rifle, has a big gash on his head, but he's okay. They point their guns at Grace. Morgan shows up, on a horse, looking like a cowboy, says, I'm right here. No one fires a single shot. Morgan's got that force field around him, a big plot armor bubble. He's protected. No one fires a single shot at him. He's like, you're not going to do nothing. If you kill me, you'll never find Dakota. If you hurt my friends, you'll never get Dakota. If you do this, you're never going to get Dakota. So it turns into, you can't kill me because you want your sister. And then you can't kill Ginny because you want their friends to be saved, right? Which is true. It's ultimately like, you can't do this because of this. You can't do that because of this, right? So Strand is told by Virginia to kill Daniel. Strand points his gun. He's got his little fingers up like if it was there. He says, I was working an army. I made an army, but you didn't pay attention to who the army was against. And so Strand's people that he was, training and whatever is pointing their guns at Virginia and Virginia's people. So Strand went from prisoner, inmate to Ginny's person, and now Strand's flipping the script, got the guns pointed at Virginia. Strand ends up going, boom, shoots Virginia in the shoulder, kind of upper chest. She goes down. The next scene is Virginia behind Grace with her gun out. I laughed at this so hard. She was like, nobody move. And you're like, what are you talking about? You were just shot in the shoulder. You should be down on the ground. But either way, she's behind Grace, still holding on, like, nobody move. Like she's going to actually do something to Grace, but she doesn't. Firefight, battle, fights, guns, going around. Basically, the only people that die are Virginia's Rangers and I guess some of Strand's people, but everyone lives. So it's a Negan lineup, but no one dies this time. So Strand turned on Ginny. Ginny grabs Grace. Someone grabs Daniel. They put him in a car. Hill gets in the driver's seat, ready to drive away. Ginny says, take them to another place. Ginny hides behind a SUV with another ranger. Boom, Morgan shows up, knocks the guy out, puts his battle axe at her throat and says, you get me, you kill me, you won't get Grace or Daniel. So again, they have Grace and Daniel, so you can't kill Ginny. So Morgan's got to save her and protect her. Grace is, what Morgan wants to save, and I guess Daniel too. So, I understand a little bit. Strand says, hand her over, Morgan. Don't do this. And Morgan says, I can't because she has Grace and Daniel. So Morgan puts her in the Jeep, puts her in the SUV, and they drive off. The next morning they wake up. They're in Morgan's water tank, the water tower that's flipped over, that was knocked over by Emil. They're reusing that. This time Morgan is saving Virginia. So it's kind of roles are reversed, which is cool too. So Big Bang Theory Shadow says, Q&A, did Hill die? I might have missed where he went off to. I think he's alive because it was Hill that was driving the Griswold station wagon with Grace and Daniel, and then you don't see him again. So I think he just went away and he's still alive out there somewhere. I would assume that Strand's going to find him and tell him that he's going to join or he's going to get killed off, because Strand's not messing around. Strand is basically running Lawton, I would assume, right, too? So Mass Ninja asks, do you think Ginny is telling the truth about Dakota being her? Well, yes, I'll talk about that in a second. I didn't get to it, but I think so. I think everything we've learned, like I think Dakota saved Morgan. I think I'll talk about that in a second, Mass Ninja, but I believe so. So Ginny is being saved by Morgan, but Morgan doesn't have all the things he needs. He put a bandage on her shoulder, and they're talking, and Virginia is like, they basically find out. Virginia talks about, like, Morgan say you stayed alive, and he's like, not by how you think. Somebody saved me. Who saved you? Your sister Dakota saved me. And he's like, bull. Yeah, right. And then he bust out the note and said, this is her handwriting, right? And it was. So Dakota actually saved Morgan. And, that's what we're going with, right, too? So I saw a question about Travis. Where was that question at? Samuel Legion says, Travis Manawa comes back in season 6. I don't think so. I think he's long gone, and we're never going to see that body again. But so Ginny finds out that Dakota saved Morgan. She freaks out, and basically she tells Morgan she needs to see Dakota. And Morgan says, you got to let my people go first. And she's like, I can't do that. I have to see her. She spills the beans, and she says that she is not Dakota's sister. She is Dakota's mom. So Ginny is the mom of Dakota. So is it a big bomb drop? Not really. It's kind of, it makes us understand Virginia a little bit more, but I think it's too little too late. Virginia is kind of one of those things where, like, she's a villain. She's kind of done some bad things. She's kind of annoying. She hasn't really helped our group out too much, and we're supposed to feel bad for her. And we kind of do. Like, after watching it twice, the episode twice, I'm like, okay, I could see what they were doing here, and it kind of is a little sad. But they get on the radio. They know that Grace and Daniel are safe. She says that she's in a water tower by Grit because there's a map right there. I guess evidently Sherry was listening because the SWAT truck rolls up, and Morgan hears it, says we got to go, throws Ginny back in the SUV, but the SWAT truck fired some rounds. They end up shooting the fuel tank of the truck or the SUV, and they run out of gas. So Morgan and Ginny start running in the woods. They split up. Sherry and her group run after Ginny. There's some gunfire. Morgan and Ginny split up in the woods. Ginny slides under this log, and she tries to hide there. Then a walker comes, and Ginny comes and hits the back of the head of the walker. It wouldn't kill it, I wouldn't think, but I guess that's all it needs now. Before, remember when walkers were a problem, but now they're hitting them with the small end of the barrel or the handle of a gun. She points her gun, Sherry points her gun at Ginny, and Morgan comes in and kicks her down and says, no, stop, you can't do that. She has, Grace and my people. Sherry falls to the ground. She says, you're just as bad as she is. Morgan gets pissed and says, what? What'd you say? You're just as bad as she is. And Morgan says, look, she's going to pay her dues. She's going to do what's going to happen to her, but not now. We need her alive. Ginny just sits there, or Sherry's just laying there in the leaves. Morgan picks Ginny up, and they run away, and they get away. So basically, whatever Morgan says goes. If Morgan says Ginny lives, she lives. If she does this, she dies. If she does this, Morgan is the person everyone's listening to, right? So they get away. Morgan and Ginny are walking, and it's kind of funny because Ginny is like still being a pain in the butt and just not really like not like being thankful to Morgan or whatever. But Morgan takes Ginny to the dam, their Morgan settlement. Dwight and Althea and Alicia come out and they see it and they're like, what are you doing, Morgan? Why are you bringing her here? And he says, I couldn't radio you. It's not safe. And you got to tell her all the situation. They go out. They go into the inside the dam. And it's pretty funny because Virginia's like, oh, it reminds me of my grandparents, whatever. And Alicia's like, we're not here to reminisce. But they built up a church and they built up a place and they got, crops growing and they've done a lot of stuff. They got a lot of things going and it looks pretty good. They got people, doing things. So basically they're about to go have Ginny see Dakota, who's in the church, and Strand shows up. And Althea is on the radio. And Althea is basically the person at the front with the radio and, relaying the message to Strand, to Morgan, Morgan to Strand, vice versa on there too. So, Sai Patel, hey. But, so, Strand is like, we want Ginny. And so Strand is on the ground level. His Rangers are on the high ground. And then also Sherry and the SWAT truck and her people show up too. So you got the SWAT truck, Strand, and Strand's people all want Virginia. But we still don't have the people back, Grace, Daniel, June, Sarah, anyone. We don't have anybody yet. So it's not safe. So we can't give up Virginia yet because they want to take Virginia. They want to get answers. They want to get the satisfaction of taking her out. So Morgan comes up with an idea like this, and Virginia's like, look, I want to have Dakota to stay in your community. You need to live. You need to make sure she's safe. And you just need to do these things for Dakota. You can kill me. I'm willing to sacrifice myself for it too. So, Exos Girls ask Q&A with June walking away. Do you think she will go back to John's cabin, or will she kill Dakota like we all want? I mean, she left at the very end of the episode. June walks away from Morgan's community, and I would assume she goes to the car and she drives somewhere. She left. If she was going to take out Dakota, she could have done it at the community, or she's waiting to do it. I personally don't think Dakota is going to die. I think she's going to stay around. That's just kind of what they do on the show. So I think she's going to get in the car and then leave. So Morgan takes Ginny out and says, I'm going to kill her now, execute her in front of you guys, because, we can't have this, we can't have that. But either way, that's basically what's going to happen, because Morgan says so, right? So Morgan there's like these rocks that are up in front of the dam. And Kevin Leo says, do you think we'll see the kids from season 5 again? I don't know. Right now, I don't think so, right? That's kind of a plot hole. Where's Wendell and where are the kids? Still don't know. So she goes down on there. It's kind of like an execution, like a beheading. So she goes down on the rock. She puts her head down on it. Morgan gets ready. He gets his axe ready. He's the executioner. And he's ready. And he remembers what she did. John, this, that, remembers all these things. And he's about to swing down. He remembers a meal. And then, and he stops. He can't do it. And they're like, come on, we want justice. What's this? What's this? Come on, what are you doing here? And Ginny's like, come on and do it. They want you to do it. Come on. Like she's like not backing down. She's not scared. She's like, just get this over with. Come on. This anticipation is worse than what it is. Come on. This is not going to work, right? So Big Bang Theory Shelter asks, will Dakota still be banished? I don't think so. I mean, Ginny said to have Dakota be a part of the community, even though, I'll get to that in a second, what happened, what they were supposed to do. But I think Dakota becomes a part of their group. I mean, maybe she just leaves, but what's going to happen with her? What's going to happen with the future of Dakota's character? June, Alicia, Charlie? I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, she killed John. That's not going to be okay for a lot of people. So Morgan thinks and he yells, we're no better than her. If I kill her now, this is going to start off things in the wrong way. We're no better than this. We're no better than her. So he says she's got to pay for what she did. She's got to do this. And people are like, what? What are you talking about? So he picks Ginny up, takes her back in. Alicia opens the gate, and people understand what Morgan's doing for some reason. But either way, takes her back in, takes Ginny into the church, and Dakota is there in the church with her like a prisoner, a chain thing around her leg, and she's a prisoner basically. But she's safe inside the church by herself. Ginny's in there, ready to talk. Dakota's like, why is she here? I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to see her. I don't want this. Your team, she realized that everybody went against her. It's over for Ginny. But Morgan says she has something to tell you. They talk. Dakota is like a teenager that's unhappy with things, with her family, her parents, her people. She's just she doesn't want to see Virginia ever again. Virginia breaks down, says, those weren't your parents, because Virginia evidently killed the parents. And that's actually what happened, that's what Dakota said again. So we kind of thought Dakota was lying about that, but I guess Dakota hasn't lied yet to us. So Virginia killed them, and Dakota doesn't accept that. And Virginia says, they weren't your parents. I am your parent. I'm your mother. So Virginia says, she comes clean and says that Dakota, you're my daughter. Everything I did was to protect you alive, was to do this. They talk it out. It's kind of a sad moment because you understand why she did it. Why didn't she do it? It was kind of a thing. I don't know why she didn't tell her eventually in the zombie apocalypse. Like, who cares? Like, it was just one of those things that I guess she was made to think. It's always one of those things in stories and shows and movies where it's like somebody was keeping something from someone and it's like not good for the person when they should have just come clean, right? It's like one of those things. It's like a movie trope where you're like, if you just told them the truth from the beginning or when it was the appropriate time to tell them, like you're not going to tell Dakota that that's her mom when she's a little kid. She doesn't understand. but when the parents were gone, or I don't know, something there too. So, but either way, they have their talking moment. And then the next scene is Virginia is passed out on the cot that's in the church. Rufus is licking her, wakes her up, pushes him off, like, and June removed the bullet that was in her shoulder. So, meanwhile, Strand and everybody there, they gave up on Virginia. So, but before that, I skipped the part where Sherry is not going to go into Morgan's sanctuary settlement group. She's like, I had a shot at Virginia, but it didn't work out. I should have took it, but it didn't feel this way. And basically, she doesn't want to go in there just yet. She may next episode or in a couple episodes, but we'll have to see. She doesn't join them, and Dwight's like, what's going on? I mean, come on. Just join us here, right? So it's still not Sherry and Dwight happily ever after. But then Alicia and Strand are talking. Strand's still on his horse. And Alicia's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to come in here? We should do this together. He goes, there's nothing in there for me. There's still the threat that's out there, which he's got to be talking about the end is the beginning people. Because I think Strand is the one that finds out about the end is the beginning people, the people with the spray paint. And I believe he takes over Lawton, the Rangers, Ginny's sanctuary settlements. And he just does that. And he's the one that brings the end is the beginning people knowledge to everybody. And then those people attack Morgan's settlement. So we'll have to see what happens there. Or maybe he becomes the villain. I don't know what happens with Strand. But the end is the beginning people should be arriving, I would assume, next episode, next week. Or maybe 2 episodes away at the most, but most likely next week. So Alicia, Strand, they talk it out, but they get nowhere. Strand keeps on his horse and goes away. So Sherry leaves with her group. Strand leaves by horseback, and they leave. But also, so Daniel, June, they arrive on horseback. Also, Luciana and Wes arrive on horseback. So they arrive there. So everyone's let go. Then you see Sarah, the rabbi, and Grace shows up too. So I jumped from that part because they show up in a car that's parked kind of where June leaves at the end of the episode, where I think she's walking to the car. So Grace and Morgan have their talk. They talk about the baby. Grace says it's a boy, but she doesn't know it's a boy. She's just thinking it's a boy. And you see Morgan's face light up. They have their nice moment. Grace takes off his hat, and they talk about, you're still the same guy I knew. And, they kind of have, they walk arm in arm, and they kind of have their relationship, I guess, can continue on if they're going to pursue that, which I kind of think they would, right? So Grace still is pregnant. I would assume she has the baby. And also Daniel says, hello, Victor. So Strand knows that Daniel knows who he is. So he's been playing. He's like, that's a conversation for another day. So it kind of spills the beans that he was kind of doing that too. So, but then we saw the Ginny thing where it gets woken up by Rufus. June, Alicia, and Morgan are in the church. Morgan says, you can leave with Dakota, and you can go down by the waterway, go to the passageway, and the Rangers won't find him. So Morgan's letting Virginia and Dakota leave. And he says it's for Dakota, not for Ginny, because they feel bad for Dakota. They don't see Dakota as this evil person. They see her as she was lied to. She was tricked. She was, growing up in the zombie apocalypse is not really. Same kind of thing with Charlie. So I still feel like Dakota's going to get a pass, right? So Alicia and Morgan leave the church to go get Dakota. June says, I'm going to change her bandage. And so June goes and she doesn't actually change her bandage. She just kind of applies pressure to the bandage that's on there, and they're talking. And they talk about, June says that she had a daughter named Rose, that we know that she died and people died because of it. And you see the story of it. And June feels like there's some karmic debt after what happened, that it's kind of fitting that her child died and Rose killed other people, previously in a previous season. So it's fitting that a child killed her husband. And so she kind of feels like it's a, karmic payback. So Jenny says, you would do anything for your daughter. And you kind of see like okay, Ginny's trying to be there for June. And June kind of fixes the bandage and does that, and then she walks away. And she says, I would do anything for my daughter. So that flips the switch on for June as she's walking towards the exit of the church. And she turns around and she says, did you know what Dakota was capable of? Did you know these things? Did you hide things? So then that makes June was like looking for anything to kind of piss her off because she wants vengeance for what happened. So she looks down at it, she reaches behind her back and pulls out John's gun. And she says, this is the gun that Dakota killed John with. And she looks at it, and, June is looking at her gun with John's hat, and Virginia's looking at her like, no. And then she points her gun, June points the gun right at Ginny's face, and boom, fires a shot, hits her in the head, and Ginny's there on the cot, or the makeshift bed thing, on her back, and the blood's dripping out of her head, and June killed Ginny. And as soon as she walks out of the church, she puts on John's hat, she walks out. Dakota, Morgan, and Alicia are walking towards the church. Dakota runs in, sees that her mother is dead now. Morgan says, June, and June keeps walking. You see Grace and Charlie, they're looking at, June. Dwight comes out, looks at June. I'm not sure if Althea does, but either way, she keeps walking towards the car that is parked that Grace, the rabbi, and Sarah rolled up in. And that's the end of the episode. Also, before that, Morgan has his axe that he digs into the ground in front of the opening, the entranceway of the dam. And he says, this is going to stay here unless we need it. And that's kind of in frame when June walks away towards her car. And that's the end of the episode, too. So June killed Virginia. So in 2 episodes, we lost John Dory last episode, and in this episode, we lost Virginia. So it's kind of fitting is what this Fear the Walking Dead does. We're in the back half of season 6 now, so when the end is the beginning, people show up. They don't like to have carryover from previous villains. So you wouldn't have Virginia and the end is the beginning people. You wouldn't have certain people there too. Like you didn't have different villains carry over with like Logan was killed by Virginia's people and stuff. My question too is like, how did Virginia become so powerful? How did she become so of a tyrant and all these different, she calls them like franchises. Like my franchises, you're like, what are you running McDonald's over here? You got a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts. So either way, she's got settlements and we'll have to see. And I believe Strand's going to probably take over that because he's got his group, he's got his people, and we'll have to see what happens with Hill. So Hill should still be alive. So I can't wait to see how it goes down, but Ginny is gone like we kind of thought that would happen kind of right away. So it was good. There's steady. So season 6, episode 10 through 16 will be the end is the beginning people. That should take us into season 7. That's filming now. So I can't wait to see where we go with it. And it's another good episode, but John's death is a sad thing. And also the rabbi gives the last note that John wrote to June because he didn't think he was going to see her again, and he hands her that note and she puts it in the jacket pocket. So we'll probably see her reading that next episode or so. And so everybody survived except for Ginny and I guess some Rangers that were not really named people, but overall it's a good episode. The lineup, we didn't have to worry about anybody getting killed off there because she's not. And Grace is going to have a baby sometime soon. Luciana is kind of useless. Wes is there with Luciana on the horse, so he doesn't really have much in the episode. No Wendell, no Madison, no kids, nothing like that too. So I'm guessing they're at some other settlement and they're okay, except for Madison because I think she's gone, but we'll have to see if she ever shows up. Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, do you think Lil Herschel and Judith should be a kid couple on The Walking Dead show? Well, if you mean like kid couple that they were born in the zombie apocalypse and then they become a couple when they're of age, yes, I don't want to see them a couple right now. That'd be kind of weird. But if we have a time jump at the end of the season 11 and we have an older Judith and an older Herschel, I could see them being together. Maybe Herschel is with Gracie and Herschel. Maybe I would want to see Herschel with Gracie and Judith does her own thing as like the leader. I don't know. Like I kind of want to see like Judith branch out. Maybe she has her own spinoff. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Like, are we going to have the end of season 11 be the walkers are done? They're never a problem anymore. And that's like the way the comic ends. Or is the show kind of like a soft ending? Like it's not the true ending of things because we're still going to have the spinoffs, maybe the Negan show, maybe stuff. I don't know. It's still not going to be like the main ending of the stuff because we're still going to have other stuff after the show ends. We're going to have we're going to Fear the Walking Dead season 7, the Rick movies, whatever other spinoffs they're going to pull out their butt. Can keep that cash cow rolling in too. So, Jonathan Wilder says Q&A. Do I have to say Q&A every time I have a question? It just makes me see it better, John. So if like you're doing pretty good with the questions so far, the Q&A you can probably put like Q, the and symbol NA. You don't have to write and, but it just makes me see it better because sometimes there's a lot of chat going on here and it makes me see things better that way too. So there you go, guys. That's my hour, and I can't wait to see how it goes down. Also, if you're following my videos and definitely things on social media, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has really been out and about with the fans a lot of so far filming. So he's been seen with Georgia Tour Company and these water tower tours in Sonoy. He's been seen now like 3 or 4 times out and about, actually coming over to fans and different things that I've seen too. And it's only episode 5 filming of season 11. So I don't know if he's trying to get people. I mean, he's a personable guy, so it's not like it's out of the realm for him. But maybe he's trying to get people to get that Negan story. I would want to see the Negan, spinoff. If it's like, a shorter series, maybe 6 episodes, I'd watch it. That'd be pretty cool. And I don't know if he's kind of trying to get that done too. So BJ Logan 007 says Q&A. How do you feel about Strand and June? Do you mean like together? Because I don't see that happening. But I like Strand for different aspects of the show now. And I like June. I like John and June. And I see June potentially coming like Comic Andrea. But she already has her vengeance. Like, is she really going to kill a teenager? Maybe, but she was kind of misled with Virginia. So I think Dakota's going to get a pass. But I like both characters. Last one here. What could happen in the next episode? I think Strand and his people find out more of the spray paint cans, and the end is the beginning people attack the Morgan's people at the dam. I personally think so. Season 6, episode 10 could be amazing too. So, Jeannie says, "Isn't Strand gay?" I think he's definitely gay because he was with the guy in Mexico in season 2. That was his lover and his. He loved that person. So I don't know if he's bi or if he's gay or he's whatever, but I think somebody said he was bi because he was kind of hitting on Madison. So I don't know. I mean, the sexuality of people on here is kind of all over it too much, but I guess I'm not too worried about it. But he's definitely, he definitely likes guys because we saw it in season 2, the thing in Mexico, and I think he was hitting on Madison. So I think that too. But ultimately, guys, thank you. That's my hour. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about Fear the Walking Dead. Any more filming news? Hopefully you guys will be here. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for the super chats, being a part of the channel, the series. Hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. We're still striving for that goal of 100,000 subscribers. I'll be back next Sunday, like I said. I'm working hard on Fight for Us Revenge. That's book 14. I got 5 chapters left to review myself. So my wife has already started her review, so I think she's on chapter 7, and it's 18 chapters, so we'll be excited to talk about that and break that down for you. And we're still striving for late May, so maybe in a month or so for there too. So Craig says, show your Lucille bat. My Lucille bat is actually in my man cave, so that's actually across the house over there too, but maybe in another video I'll have to break it down for you. But thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. It takes hard work, but it doesn't happen overnight. I've been making more things over time, channels, books, different things for it. You can do things. It takes the right people, the right knowledge, maybe getting a little lucky with it, but ultimately you can do things in life. Remember that. Don't give up. Keep working hard. Take breaks. Come back to it.
It's okay if you fail with things. That's part of life. You learn from your failures. It's all right with that. But there's no mistakes in life, only lessons learned. Thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episode. See you guys. And remember, no Talking Dead for the rest of the season until the season 6 finale. So if you're looking for Talking Dead, I don't believe it's on. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's on. That's what Chris Hardwick said last week. So I'll be back next Sunday to talk about things.